Hey guys, what's up? My name is Chris and I've been editing videos for probably 15 years now, YouTube videos specifically. I probably have 1,000 videos under my belt at this point. There's a few very key important things in order to make a video addictive, in order to get a lot of watch time and keep people engaged in the videos. And we're gonna do that right here. So starting right here in this Premiere timeline, as you can see, I have 40 minutes of just raw footage here. And we're gonna be editing this video. It's basically like a food review where these three characters, try some cool Mexican food, right? And we have to create a story out of this. These things have to be more interesting than just reacting to food. There needs to be personality to it in terms of the shots, in terms of the editing, in terms of the characters in it. And we're going to be building from the ground up this edit. But I'm going to start with a finished work. I'm going to show you a video and two different versions of that video to just talk about how I'm going to pursue the construction of this video. I'm going to play the first 30 seconds of this video. And I've got a good version, which is published. We're going to play that second. And a bad version, which is not published. And you can tell right off the bat, there's a difference here. There's 6 minutes, 47 seconds, and then 3 minutes, 26 seconds. We're not gonna watch any significant portion of either of these, but I just wanted to show you the first 30 seconds of each of them. So I'm gonna play this.
Johnny Drink's back at it again with a food review. We are here at Travato's Due in Oakland, New Jersey, one of the best Italian restaurants in North Jersey.
I can't wait for the Yankees. #1 here. You watch. Come on.
Please don't say that.
Come on. Should he be carrying all that shit in? All right, Tony. I gotta get a drink in me. Let's get a little vodka martini. You got nice olives?
I got beautiful olives.
Okay, hit me up with some Kettle One.
You got it, brother. You got it.
Starting with a nice classic.
Okay. So there's 32 seconds right there for you. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna play the second video.
Johnny Drink's back at it again with a food review. We are here at Travato's Due, one of the best Italian restaurants in North Jersey. Let's go.
I'm making a new app actually. Today's the first day I'm doing it. Eggplant involtini. We're gonna roll here. I'm gonna put a little fresh mozzarella, then we're gonna put a sauce over top and then bacon. I started cooking when I was 12. At 19, I opened up my own pizza shop restaurant. So I work in a pizza shop from 9 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, I go put a tuxedo on and I work in a restaurant. Funny story, I told the owner's son, he was not a nice guy. I said, one day I'm gonna buy this place. 8 years later, I ended up buying the spot and turned into Travato's.
We just went through a whirlwind tour.
Okay, that was 44 seconds, but it felt like 15. You see the difference here? So let's break down what happened. You watched 45 seconds of this one and it felt shorter than the first 32 seconds of this one. Why is that? Now, there's a couple easy gimmies right off the bat. In this version, you've got quick edits, you've got fun music, you've got a lot of action shots. Right off the bat, you could tell that. With this one, you know, you got our main character here.
Back at it again with
he's holding he's holding like lights. And then you get a couple lazy examples of shots. You know, you get this placement is not very good. You get a shaky shot of a sign. My fault.
Wait for the Yankees. #1 here. You watch. Come on.
You just get some awkward banter. Like, that's awkward. Please don't say that. You know, it's just, we don't establish the world here, the chemistry with people. You just get this, like, it feels a little silly, you know, like it's hard to care, right? We're 15 seconds in and we don't see anything interesting, and nor do we develop a relationship with these characters. And then you get this part.
Should he be carrying all that
so you
shit
hear, should he be carrying all that shit in? And that's like an excerpt. That doesn't need to be in the video. That serves no function. We're still confused. We're 20 seconds in and, all right. And then we cut here.
Tony, I gotta get a drink in me. Let's get a little vodka martini. You got nice olives?
I got beautiful olives.
Okay, hit me up with some
So we go to an Italian restaurant and the first thing we do is order a drink. I mean, granted, the drinks come before the meal, but like what's going on screen here does not compute with what the first 5 seconds of the video says. You know, it doesn't match up with the food review. There's 30 seconds. There's no reason for anybody to stay beyond the first 30 seconds, you know? And look at this. So, okay, right off the bat, a minute in.
There's that special eggplant dish I just made.
We hear the chef say, here's a special eggplant dish I just made. We don't see him making it. And the food comes out right away, and you're just like, okay, what's going on here? Let's break this down really quick. So the first 45 seconds is what I would call the intro. In it, you're gonna see pretty much every aspect of what the video is gonna be. And it's kind of addicting. There's cool mood-setting music, like over-the-top Italian, right? Over-the-top Italian music. Then right into it, we allow the chef to tell the story. He's creating a new appetizer.
First day I'm doing it. Eggplant involtini. We're gonna roll here.
And so, you know, curiosity, you know, like we get reaction shots, right? Look at the placement of these reaction shots. And you're gonna notice that when we're editing in the video in the future, watch this.
I'm making a new app actually.
So he does, like, he's not directly I just took a random reaction shot. I don't know what he's reacting to, but I placed it here because it makes sense, right?
Doing it. Eggplant involtini.
You know, and so we get this other character. Look, reaction shot 1.
First day I'm doing it.
He says what it is. He's like, I've never heard of an involtini, or at least that's what the editing says. I don't know what he's reacting to. I just use the shot because it creates a good story, right? He could be reacting to some other dish that the chef Tony's making. But that's a funny shot to place, right? So it creates a lot of curiosity. Now we do something special. We introduce who's going to be driving the story here.
I opened up my own pizza shop restaurant. So I work in a pizza shop.
So he goes into his life, how this place began. Because I felt the alcohol bit, it didn't really need to exist. The footage is dark, the footage isn't fantastic, the dialogue that's going on in the, I don't know, it's not the strongest aspects of the video. However, I wanted to include it, and I thought, oh, you know what, it would be pretty fascinating to use as B-roll, and I place it right here.
More of the kitchen and Chef Tony doing his best.
You know, and so it's just like a little cutaway where you could just see, you know, stuff's being made, and it's interesting because you see the concoction of a drink being made from beginning to end. When you're editing, you need moments of payoff, right? You need setup and payoff. Good movies have that. Good horror movies, good comedy movies have setups and payoffs. The payoff is they get to finally try this eggplant, and they love it. See that? They love it. Now, I do that again with this dish. This dish has a really cool story because it's named after a mobster. And now the chef goes into that story here. However, the other dishes are not that interesting. So what do? I do something called a montage, and I'm gonna go into that.
Flavorful, beautiful. Thank you, Beeps.
This dish is a tagliatelle con fico, one of my favorite plates.
Wow.
Masala wine, egg yolks, and sugar.
Montages, they essentially are used to pass time. When you have a lot of information, but it's repetitive information, you can use montages to your benefit there because it shows a lot of things because they ate a lot of food that day, but it presents it in a way where it flies by quickly. And you're, if you know famous examples of montages, like in Citizen Kane, when all the newspaper clippings, it's like a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. It's an effective use. When used properly, it's not cheesy. It helps convey a lot of information in a short period of time. And that was a 15-second montage. I condensed 2 minutes of footage and I compressed it to 15 seconds because why? Because those other dishes did not add to the story. I didn't need to drag them out because it was just more of the same. And I needed to keep the viewer's attention. So I spiced up the pacing of the editing. This is going to be equally difficult because there's no real story. And I assembled all the footage here because I have 40 minutes of footage to peel through. Now, I shot this. there's a lot of factors that I have to deal with when we're going to be editing this. One, I'm shooting with a DSLR camera with a crappy onboard microphone, and there's fans going off in the background because it's a hot summer day here in New Jersey. Footage isn't fantastic. Most of the footage is probably crappy because it's shaky. So I have to pick out the best 3 to 5 minutes of this and put it together in a presentable story, a narrative. I can, as I'm shooting, create a story in my mind. And I know as I sit down in the edit that I have a beginning, middle, and end somewhere in here because there's different things that we were working on and shooting. So for example, there's an entire sequence where they're making a cocktail, okay? I know that's one section. There's also a proper introduction. That's another section. So first section, we have an intro. Second section, we have a cocktail being made. The third section, there's a conversation in the kitchen. He talks to the owner. Fourth section, I'm gonna lump it all together, is all of this food review. And they're eating the food. There's some banter between them, but I'll be honest, the performances aren't that fantastic. So I have to make the actual food consumption part the shortest part of the video, but it's the most footage. So there's gonna be a lot of montage, there's gonna be a lot of quick cutting, a lot of music flowing in, and we're gonna get some nice festive Mexican music. And we have an outro. So it's gonna follow the same beats as the Italian restaurant video, but we're gonna have to now start from scratch. So we're gonna start off with the intro here. Let's see if it's any good.
What is up, everybody?
Oh gosh. I don't love this. It's just a weird, look at this frame. He's wearing sunglasses.
Montclair, New Jersey.
I'm gonna use his audio potentially.
Best Mexican
but
barbecue restaurant.
I'm not loving this so far. But I'm gonna put it on because it's our first official example of an intro, right? It's our first starting point. Now the next section I know is kind of actually, it's kind of funny.
So it wouldn't be right for us to do a Mexican restaurant review without our boy, $20 chef, who's already getting the party started. I guess clearly without me.
Oh, caught me.
So here's a funny little bit. Now, what's amazing here is this guy. Okay, some backstories with the characters here. The YouTube channel here is Johnny Drinks. This is John. This is also John. I'm gonna call him Senior. We're gonna call him Junior. Actually, no, I'll call him Chef. I'll call the owner. Those are the characters in this story today. Chef's performance here is going to be our strongest. He had the most to say after I ate all the food, and I'm gonna let him be the comic relief that sort of narrates this entire story. Now, John has the second most to say in this entire story because he's kind of the who is it? Nick in The Great Gatsby? He's our Nick in Great Gatsby. The story goes through him. The experience goes through him. Chef is the comic relief. And Senior, after the cocktail bit, you're gonna watch me retire his character. His character's gonna fall away from a prominent role. We're gonna still get reactions, but he doesn't have a lot to say, so I kind of want to de-emphasize his character for the rest of the story, right? Every character here is gonna have their highlighted moments. Senior's got his cocktail, Junior has his interactions with the owner, and Chef comes in to keep things spicy. So let's see how we could cut this together, because right now we got 20 seconds here, and not much is happening, especially if you don't know who Chef is. This is not that fantastic of a moment. It's a little long, but he articulates it very well. I would love to condense it to 6 seconds, kind of like the opening of the Italian YouTube video. However, I think he has more to say here, and he says it concisely. I'm gonna keep it entirely, and we're gonna cover this with B-roll. We're gonna cover this with footage on top, some nice music, and it's gonna be a strong intro. I'm pretty happy with this. What I'm probably gonna do is a bit of a montage and give the people what they want, some highlights, some teasers of what to experience. And then I'm gonna cut to here. So this is a bit awkward because he mentions $20 Chef and points, but $20 Chef isn't on frame, right? And it takes a while for me to pan over the camera and get to him. And a jump cut seems a little unnatural.
Who's already getting the party started?
Caught me.
I love that bit. I love it. But I don't know if it's going to fit this video. Which kind of sucks. Because it's so funny, I failed the moment. Right? With the way I couldn't... I don't think I could have done a better job, but I want to salvage it. I want to save it. And we're going to work on that together. So now we need a proper introduction for Chef. 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I got to chop this up, though, because we can't have him talk for that long. Let's see what this looks like together. I'm probably going to have to use an insert shot.
Caught me. Hey, it's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so this is awkward, right? This doesn't work.
Hey, it's a
Let's
pleasure to be
explain
here.
why this doesn't work. The two shots are very similar frames.
Caught me. How's it going? Hey,
So I can't use that beginning. However, this is where an L cut's gonna work. Okay, look how awkward this is here. Watch this.
how's it going? Hey, it's a pleasure to be here.
It's awkward. There's nothing interesting here. However, an L cut, we're gonna remove this. We're gonna keep the audio though, see?
How's it going? Hey, it's a pleasure to be here, all right?
And we're gonna extend just the video, not the audio of the previous clip. So check this out.
Caught me. How's it going? Hey, it's a pleasure to be here, all right? Big Mexican guy. I'm Mexican on the weekends. My dad was Mexican.
So that's actually hilarious. That is so funny. I'm gonna keep that.
And when I drink enough of cocktails, I can speak much better Spanish. But today we're talking Mexican food. This is where it's at, okay? A good quality Mexican. But today we're talking Mexican food. This is where it's at, okay? A good quality.
So you hear that fan in the background. I don't want to keep going because he reintroduced two things. One, the audio kind of sucks. And we already got the intro in the beginning. And we got the montage. We get what this video is going to be about. Man, but he carries this so well. He carries it so well.
That's why.
If the sound was better, he's doing a lot of work for me because he's editing live, right? He's transitioning from the opener to the first segment, which is creating a cocktail. I want to see if I could preserve that because he's a very strong host. He's able to do this just naturally. It's a gift of his.
Of Mexico, and I'm from Los Angeles, so I'm pretty Mexican. But today we're talking Mexican food. This is where it's at, okay? A good quality Mexican food teamed up with what better than good quality barbecue? That's what I want when I come to an original Mexican establishment. But right now, I'm getting a little thirsty, and
you know, it's not going to remain a jump cut like this. I'm going to add B-roll over it, but I want to get the base layer to tell the story. We're going to have nice music, and it's going to shape up really well. I like chopping out all the dead air, especially when Chef talks, because when you chop out the dead air in a YouTube video, you see it a lot. It helps with comedic timing, but I'm not going to do that for every character. Chef, I like doing that because Chef is very beat. And it works really well for him and his cadence. I'm not going to do that something like that for junior or senior. It's janky. They're not comedians in that way. This is actually not bad because he waves. I don't need to spend all this time introducing senior because he waves here. We get his hand, and that little extension might give us a little something.
Barbecue, but right now I'm getting a little thirsty, and I think it's time.
We're gonna go right to dessert. Hot Sunday. Go right to dessert. Hot Sunday coming up. We're gonna go right to dessert.
So I'm not gonna keep that beginning because Chef and him kind of overlap. I don't really like it, and
we're gonna go right to dessert.
We're gonna go right to dessert doesn't really make sense because the cocktail's not that sweet. However, I can leave this. So this should flow well, but we'll see.
Getting a little thirsty, and I think it's time.
Hot Sunday coming up.
That might actually work. That's actually kind of interesting.
But right now, I'm getting a little thirsty, and I think it's time.
Yeah. Okay. So you could tell I'm 20 minutes into working on this, and that's the first natural cut for me. I like editing on like emotion, like what feels natural, like the pacing. I don't want anything jittery, something that doesn't feel natural.
You don't garner the name Johnny Drinks if you don't have the ability to just kind of bring the bar to your table and set up the shop here.
Look at that. See, that's natural, right? I use a completely unrelated shot. He's talking to somebody about something, I don't know, but it's a little candid cam. He's, you know, he's not talking to the camera, he's talking to someone else. There's somebody talking about him. And it's kind of cool. It's like a little power move, you know? It's like I'm the authority here. So I like that. We got two little sections that I like with or without B-roll. Or that has B-roll. So what we could even do is another L cut here. And what L cuts help do is it makes it seem like there's more cameras than there really are. Also, check this out.
They're coming up.
You don't garner the name.
And you know what? Because
Hot Sunday coming up.
You don't garner the name.
Now we don't need this B-roll shot because this is extended.
You don't garner the name.
Hot Sunday coming up.
You don't garner.
Let me see what the extension of this shot looks like.
Coming up.
You don't garner the name Johnny Drinks if you don't have the. Garner the name Johnny Drinks if you don't have.
Lame. So let's watch this together.
But right now, I'm getting a little thirsty, and I think it's time.
Hot Sunday coming up.
You don't garner the name Johnny Drinks if you don't have the ability to just kind of bring the bar to your table and set up the shop here.
That's not bad, not bad. So I'm noticing something else. We're gonna assemble some B-roll here. But I need to establish Senior because his first shot is here. I need to establish him. Like, so I want to grab like a reaction shot of some kind. This shot won't work because it won't work in the context when Chef's talking here, you know? He's not talking about John, and it's kind of a weird shot because he's not giving attention to Chef. So I need a shot where he's giving some sort of attention to Chef. Nah, I don't think we're going to get the shot I'm looking for. I would really like to establish him before, but maybe the montage in the beginning will do that. So today we're talking Mexican food. Let's see. What kind of shots can go with that? I really want to get him like eating chips, honestly. Do I have any shots? There we go. Yeah, because it establishes something. You know, they're doing a lot. It gives some curiosity, right? So we got some solid stuff happening here. Okay, I got 52 seconds. We got some solid stuff. I'd give it a C- to C+. Like it's crafted. So we have a really solid intro here. The next segment that we're gonna go into is the drink making. However, I'm weird where I like finishing an entire section and then rewatching it back for like 45 minutes straight. So I need to add a montage here. I need to add some music. All right, I'm probably gonna change out the music. I don't exactly know. I'm a little upset because I don't have like, I'm not feeling that like amazing energy here. All right, I'm gonna work on the montage here. Let's find some good clips. Let's get back into this. We gotta like, we're losing confidence. So we gotta gain some confidence back. We got some indoor shots. I'm gonna color these later. It's not a big deal. I'm not concerned that it's dimly lit. Oh, get a shot of the waiter. He's a character. You know, and I'm even gonna use his audio a little bit. Let's check this out.
State, we're gonna go check it out. So it would be right for us to do a Mexican restaurant.
All right, that's strong. Editing is just picking up, it's just the emotional, you know, you gotta drudge through it because you have so much footage. And we cut 55 seconds so far, 50 seconds-ish. And it's so-so. It's like, but it's so-so in the most encouraging way. There's something there. There's something of value there in that footage. You just have to chisel away at that marble. And we're finally getting somewhere. And I have hope. Before, I didn't really have hope because I didn't know what to look for, you know? And eventually, the music helps, the pacing helps, the footage helps. Things just blend together. You know, kind of like those Italian sculptures in like medieval times in the Renaissance era. One of them has this famous quote where they look at a block and they start chipping away until something inspires them, and the image is inside of that. Editing is the same way with footage, and I'm going for that right here. So in the first 50 seconds, we did the intro together. That took about an hour and a half. The second section, which is about 1 minute and 17 seconds, is the creation of the tequila drink cocktail. I went ahead and do that myself. So we got 2 sections done in this video, and the total runtime for this video right now is 1 minute and 57 seconds. We got a powerful video flowing here. There's momentum coming, whereas before I didn't really understand what type of direction I wanted to take. I didn't set the pacing. The music really helped. The cutting, the B-roll, everything is starting to fold together. While the introduction took about an hour and a half, 2 hours for me to wrap my head around, this next minute took me about 30 minutes to do. It's just gonna flow quicker and quicker, and this video is gonna end up being around 3 minutes, 30 seconds to 4.5 minutes. And we're gonna keep this pace solid. We're gonna make it fast paced and constantly exciting. So I wanna break down the work that I've done off camera, which has been the creation of this cocktail. I used just 1 clip. I just left the camera rolling, and we filmed the entire creation of the cocktail here. And as you could see right here, I just did some jump cuts.
Lime.
You ever eat lemon and lime?
They make my lips pucker.
Yeah.
Twice in here. Tequila.
Right? I just jump in, and over here I use an L cut. And then I fade out the music. And notice, even though the audio is kind of poor, I let the poor audio just take over. I let the music end, and I let the footage breathe now. You know, and so like all the emphasis is in the reality of this new drink. And I close out the rest of the scene without music. And then at the end, I'm gonna let the music kick in here. Right? So let me also show you the transition. I used a separate piece of music as well. So I changed music from here to here, and I do an abrupt cut. Usually we don't want to do that, but it kind of works here.
Table and set up the shop here.
All right, first thing I'm gonna do.
You can't really tell.
Is we're gonna rim this glass, right? We're gonna put some salt in the glass.
You use some L cuts.
Some jalapeno.
Just keep it coming, keep it going quick. So now the next scene in my head is John should be a John focused scene. John's inside talking with the owner, or Junior's talking with the owner inside. This particular shot where he's drinking a slushie is not very interesting compared to what we have going on with the cocktail, so I'm gonna skip over it. It doesn't really do anything for us. However, I wanna get to a point where we're talking to the owner. This is gonna be a good B-roll shot of them talking. So he doesn't say a lot here.
This is the kitchen. It's actually expanded. It's 3 feet bigger than it used to be.
So I like this part.
Kitchen.
This is the kitchen.
This is the kitchen. It's actually expanded. It's 3 feet bigger than it used to be. Wow.
I'm going to just move the music aside. I'm going to keep and preserve this clip over here because we're going to use that probably. I'm just taking sound bites, right? Creating story out of like 2 minutes of rolling the camera.
Wow, this must have been small back in the day.
It was wicked small.
It's small back in the day.
It was wicked small. It gets to be about 140 in there in the summer. These guys deserve combat pay.
What was it?
All right, and then I wanted to capture, so I interject. See, this is me editing as the camera guy. I'm like, okay, I need some content. So you're gonna hear my voice asking a specific question for something that I want included in the video.
What was the thing about the burritos that you were talking about? Like,
He mentioned something about the burritos, about how in this town you couldn't get a good burrito 20 years ago, and I didn't really get a good answer from him, so we asked him to restate that answer by like, what was that thing you were telling me about again? This is me editing back then. I knew I needed that quote, something to use, and this is the response.
it was hard to get burritos in Montclair, right?
Yeah, 20 years ago, you know, Montclair wasn't the mecca for food that it is now.
What a great line. 20 years ago, Montclair wasn't the mecca for food that it is now. Amazing. That small little space will transition right into him saying, the kitchen's small.
Now, there was one Mexican joint in town, and it wasn't about the food there. in town. It wasn't about the food there. You know, and a good burrito is one of the best things you can. Good burrito is one of the best things you can get delivered in the world.
Wow. Look at that, look at that. We condensed a bunch of junk footage. When you're editing, you don't always have control of the footage, right? Sometimes you have somebody going out there to shoot and you're responsible with whatever they come up with. However, the advantage that I was shooting and editing, I knew what to look for. At the very least, you want somebody shooting that understands conceptually how to edit a good video so that they could set up the editor for success. Now, I will say, because it was run and gun, because I had a small microphone, I couldn't have a big professional production, most of the footage, admittedly, is junk, right? None of this looks good. However, the content that I was able to pull away, I knew I could piece together to make a very powerful video, even though I have a bunch of junk footage, because 4% of my, 100 minutes of footage will be good. I only need 4 good minutes. And if I could get slices like this, we're set, right? So let's play this back.
20 years ago, Montclair wasn't the mecca for food that it is now. There was one Mexican joint in town. It wasn't about the food there. You know, and a good burrito is one of the best things you can get delivered in the world. The opportunity open for this small little space just fit perfect with that concept.
That's gorgeous, man. 2 minutes to... In 13 seconds, I got the owner's story, right? This is fantastic.
40 in there in the sun.
Beautiful. That's nice. That's really nice. Elegant. And we get, okay, so we introduce a new character, the owner. We'll lower third him later. We let him talk for
20 years.
About 20 seconds. Wow, that's only about 20 seconds of screen time, but it says so much. Good editing is being able to condense how much time you need to communicate a message. And we learn the entire history of this restaurant and the atmosphere of this restaurant in 20 seconds from the owner's mouth. So good, so good.
Delicious tequila. There's a strong chance someone's calling in sick tomorrow.
20 years ago, Montclair wasn't the mecca for food that it is now. There was one Mexican joint in town. It wasn't about the food there. You know, and a good burrito is one of the best things you can get delivered in the world. The opportunity open for this small little space just fit perfect with that concept. This is the kitchen. It's actually expanded. It's 3 feet bigger than it used to be.
This must have been small back then.
It was wicked small. I think it gets to be about 140 in there in the sun.
And so like leaving in that last little bit of, it gets to be 140 in there. Somebody's gonna write a YouTube comment about that. All right, so now I wanna do a little bit of a montage of the food coming out. I'll use that, you know what? I'm gonna just bring the audio just in case I use it. Always wanna bring that, we could cut it later. I wanna get a reaction of them eating it. I don't get a good shot of him eating it. I'm gonna have to get it. So here's how I'm gonna correct this. So I don't get a good shot, you can see right here, I don't get a good shot of John eating it. And I don't wanna just cut to his reaction because you don't really know what he's eating.
I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this.
So I'm gonna use his shot second, and I'm gonna use Chef's reaction first. I'm actually not even gonna use Senior's reaction because it's nothing that special.
Wow. Right.
Actually, I might just use that. Okay, check this out. This is me editing in person too. He says,
Sauce is perfect.
He says sauce is perfect. That doesn't give me much to work with, right? Nobody here gave me a real reaction. I knew the best performer to camera in an impromptu setting like this will be Chef. I needed him to hit hard with something right off the bat. So I prompt him by saying, give me something, Chef. Check this out.
Give me something, Chef. I mean, this sauce right here, it's like best buddies with this avocado deep fry. Like, it's like they went to high school together for sure.
For sure went to high school together.
Chef is perfect in this video because he's able to give me like something of substance, entertainment, right? Their reactions are not that very good in this particular one, right? John gives me something here at the end, but it's not something to start with, and also I can't see what he's eating because of the way I framed the camera. This will be good for the second thing. So I'm gonna cut the audio from this. I'm gonna use that as a B-roll shot. I'm gonna even cut the audio from this, and I'm gonna L cut so that we could do this. Check this out. So we're gonna L cut, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna slide this in. His words are gonna line up perfectly with the shot, right? We got a shot of the salsa, and he's talking about these fried avocados. So check this out.
For so many years.
I mean, this sauce right here, it's like best buddies with this avocado deep fried. Like it's like they went to high school. Best buddies. Best buddies with this avocado deep fried. Like it's buddies with this avocado deep fried. Like it's like they went to high school together for sure.
Right, so now we could cut on that joke because we don't really need John's reaction to that joke because it doesn't carry the same weight. Like ending on a joke is better than letting something linger, so check this out.
Sure.
And then we could cut to John.
Ooh, wow. Right? It melts in your mouth because it's so warm. And I was expecting more like crunchy fry.
I'm even gonna, actually I'm gonna do this too. I'm gonna bring this down, I'm gonna let this fade.
For sure.
It melts in your mouth.
I'll cut that slightly and chop that. So we got our first review, about 10-12 seconds. Check this out.
Hello, my name is Karim. I've been working for Tinga for so many years.
I mean, this sauce right here, it's like best buddies with this avocado deep fried. Like it's like they went to high school together for sure.
It melts in your mouth. It's so warm, and I was expecting.
So I don't like this close-up shot of him eating. I don't. You can't really see everything. His face is too big. But I'm gonna take this shot from the future and I'm gonna place it.
To do this, but we're doing it.
Here's my reaction.
Oh, that's really funny. That's really funny. I'm gonna keep that over there. So now we're getting to the point of the video where we're 2 minutes 50 seconds in, and you don't want another minute of them reacting to food, really. Like you might, but it's just like we got to start entering some montage territory.
Sometimes it'll come out a little tough. This definitely did not come out like that.
Here's my
Okay, so I'm gonna do this trick.
A little tough. This definitely did. Sometimes it'll come out a little tough. This definitely did not come out like that.
Here's my reaction.
And then I'm probably gonna find a new song. Now we're in the point of the montage where I can insert some cool ingredients stuff where we haven't really touched on much of that in this entire video. It's nice. Okay, so I have a fantastic B-roll shot of them both eating at the same time. So I'm gonna use this to my advantage. I montage through this taco. I get some ingredients thing. So what I just did here, we went from montage to a little bit of more montage, but with some audio cues describing the ingredients. And then I'm gonna go montage through some other dishes as well. I'm gonna come back when I do that. Hey guys, so it took me about 2.5 hours, but right here we have 4 minutes and 30 seconds of what I would say is like 95% complete. This is something I'm happy with, something I'm ready to export, and I want to go over each of the phases that we've talked about in this video. The first one is the intro. The first 50 seconds is the intro. The second minute, up until about 2 minutes exactly, is the creation of the cocktail. After that, we have then we have about 20 seconds of the owner introducing himself and the backstory of Tinga, the restaurant. Between 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and let's call it 3 minutes and 48 seconds. So over 1 minute and 20 seconds, we have a series of montages and food reviews with different pacing. So you could see when I punch in over here, I have moments of montage without voice, and I also leave in moments with voices. You know, so there's commentary on what they're eating and interesting backstory. I cut out a lot of the, this tastes really good, kept in the interesting moments where their eyes really pop. I add some final B-roll that summarizes everything we saw in the video, and then the outro. So 4 minutes, 30 seconds. That's exactly what I predicted going into this. I'm very happy with where this edit currently stands. I was pretty nervous in the beginning, but I'm nervous at the beginning of all my edits, especially the ones that are less structured than this. You know, the less structure you have, where you don't have a format, you're kind of run and gunning, you're like, okay, how do I piece together a story? With this channel, with these types of videos, with one restaurant, you don't want a drawn out 15-minute video. I want beats hitting quickly because people's attention spans are short. You have to keep that in mind. How do you speed up the pacing? How do you slow down the pacing in the right moments? These things are so important when considering what goes into an edit. The music helps so much. Make sure to pick good music and make sure to cut it out when it's important to give emphasis, things like that. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for enduring however long this ends up being. I've captured 2.5 hours of footage. I'm gonna condense it to as short as I can. Peace out.